guys, it's MJ Talks, and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mary Jane Anitane, and over the past few months, we have been releasing various series for young adults and teenagers trying to navigate life in general. And on this episode, we're talking about love. We're treating love or taking the love series as it pertains to parents, as it pertains to siblings, as it pertains to friends, and finally, we are going to dive into love as it pertains to romantic relationship. But on this episode, we're treating parental love. Now, parenting is one of the most important aspects of the life of any human being. Like we always say, family is the foundation of society. On this episode, we're talking about parental love. All right. So I'll begin by saying that today's conversation is one that sits deeply in my heart, not just because it's dramatic, but it because it affects the way we love when we eventually become full grown adults. So, how we were raised shapes us into how we give love to others and how we receive love from others, and how we even interpret love from others. If you grew up in a home where love is not, your parents, you know that they love you, but it's not communicated by words, you will just end up, you see yourself becoming a person that can do all the good nice things, but you just find it difficult to communicate love, like tell your friend I love you. It just feels strange. And so on this episode, we're just going to dive into what parental love is and how it affects us as humans, right? So today we're not here to blame any Nigerian mother or father, or we're not here to defend any teenager or young adults. We're just here to dive into the topic and navigate ways that we can make parenting better. So if we're being honest, the average Nigerian teenager feels misunderstood. They feel like their opinion is not easily heard. They feel like whenever they want to speak, people will just tag them Gen Z. You know how in our world now, a young child expressing themselves can just be tagged Gen Z. No matter how funny it is, for me, it's not always funny because I just feel like this person is like trying to communicate something. Don't target anything, just listen to the person, right? So, and most Nigerian things are not necessarily rebellious, they are just unheard. Every teenager you meet wants guardians, but they don't want to be judged. They want a space to exist. They want to be children without being rushed into adulthood. So they ask a lot of questions, and rather than like get explanation, we just find that in this part of our world, the parents, not all, I don't like to generalize, but they hardly have explanation for like others. So you can tell a child, don't go there, don't do that, don't do that. And you know, there's just this expectation that the child should just follow suit without asking like questions. But they want the teens growing up right now, growing teenagers growing up, adults, people that are growing into like young adults, what they demand is communication and not just command. And so you'll notice that this is where most of the challenge from parents to teenagers exists. And hopefully on this episode we'll be able to like find a balance. So let's just dive into it. So as a growing child, I had my parents, my mom and my dad, they are alive, thanks to God. And I had an environment where parental love for me was shown, not really spoken, but shown. And I'll give an example. So for my mom, I remember even when my mom wants to scold me, she would like my mom wants to flog us, but she will make sure we've eaten. Maybe you've made trouble during the day, and somebody comes to my mom and reports. When you come out from school, my mom is not going to come and shout, "Oh no, no, no!" She will allow you eat food, like you eat and be satisfied. It's in the middle of the night that they will tap you and say, "So they say you did so so and so sin. Oh yeah, come and receive your cane. Put your clothes and come to be flogged." Have you seen that kind of thing before? And so remembering it is interesting because I realized that it's not like that for other people. Parents punish their children with food, but never. My mom, food was not the thing to punish us with. And so that portrayed love in that sense. Another thing I remember was I remember getting into trouble in primary five or primary six, and they had reported me to my mom, But for some reason, my mom was like, I want to hear from like my child. So my mom was just that parent that would, irrespective of whatever anybody tells her about me, would ask you, okay, say your side of the story, what happened. And so it helped me be confident when it came to telling my mom anything that had happened during the day. It didn't matter whether the person was older than me or younger than me. But my mom created an environment where she would always ask you, say your own side of the story. She was not that parent that would just go quickly and hit your, punish your, you understand? And so for my dad, growing up, my dad traveled a lot because of his job. And so in the moments where he would be around with us, my dad was not the scolded, trust me. I think for parents, there's always the good cop and the bad cop. My mom will always fall into the bad cop because my dad, he didn't have like that time to come and beat us. And no, no. The only time that my dad, you will even see my dad like floggy is maybe during morning devotion. We used to have this thing where all my siblings and I, we have our days where we read our Bible and explain. So the only time I remember my dad giving me a heavy knock was the day that I didn't read my Bible, right? And when we don't read our Bibles, we just open the Bible, and any place we open, we just try to explain from there. That day, the page that I opened, not just follow. And so I think I wasn't able to even show that I read small. And so gave me a knock for a week. I couldn't comb my hair. So that was like the most difficult situation I had with my dad. And it's difficult because you're a child, obviously. But my parents always communicated love in actions. So I can't remember like my mom or my dad really say, I love you, I love you, mwah, 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 that kind of thing. But it's even becoming an adult now that my mom would say, I love you. Or if you tell my dad, I love you, he can say, I love you. And, because they are not used to it, they just say, I love you, that kind of thing. They don't want to sit inside the I love you. You get, if you're Nigerian, trust me, you can understand this thing I'm saying. But I'm here for those people that face a situation different from mine. You know how you feel like you're not loved because your parents don't speak it. Do your parents buy you food? Do they provide food? Do they provide your clothes? Do they provide your school fees? Now, that is how they know to show love. And so don't measure the yardstick for your parents loving you based on what you see on TikTok. You see all those TikTok video now where some rich kids' parents in quotes will just take them to ice cream after school or take them to vacation in Paris, France, blah blah blah. And so your measurement for your parents loving you is now based on all those things that you see online. Please, your parents are not those parents. Where they are coming from, their background, the way they were treated by their own parents has also formed how they know to parent. And don't forget that growing up now, becoming an adult, I'm just imagining that my mates are married. So imagine they would take care of their children. They will use what they know, they will use what they learned. And so the goal is that you learn and unlearn. Learn what you can from your parents, unlearn what you think was a toxic situation for you when you grow up. You also have work to do because emotional maturity does not automatically come with age. You cannot demand freedom when you run away from responsibility. You cannot compare your parents to what you see on TikTok. You cannot shut down and expect your parents to magically just understand. So respect is not old fashioned. It is still a currency that opens door. And sometimes what you call strict is actually them forming structure. The same structure you appreciate when you become an adult. Till date, I thank God that my parents were not the parents that will allow you just go anywhere you wanted to go to. They will ask you, where are you going to? Come back at so time. And so even as an adult, when I was in school, I didn't find myself going for parties and all those things without any care in the world because it has already been ingrained in me from the house. You get, don't just be upset with the way your parent has structured the family, right? For us who will be parents, we must break the cycle because many of our parents loved us deeply but communicated poorly, like I have stated. Their harshness wasn't always intentional, it was the only language they were taught. Some parents, he shouts, eh? Then I remember growing up, if my mother wants to call my name, she shout, Gele! Ah, and I'm in the room, oh. And I'll be like, Mommy, I'm just in the room, right? And growing up now, I can communicate that to her that sometimes when she's shouting, Mary Jane, I will just keep quiet. She will come and say, you dey hear say I dey call your name, abi? You know the answer. I be like, Mommy, I dey here. You just dey shout, dey shout. People from outside, from junction, they fit hear. And I know that there are a lot of people like that. There were times when I noticed that that shouting from my mom, I wanted to learn it. I will be inside the room, I will be shouting, Temi son, blessing. So I had to start catching myself as far. That is not something that I wanted to learn, right? Did I begin to blame my mom for it? No. I just told myself, this particular shouting trait is not something I want to acquire. And I shut it down. So even at work, when I find myself having interaction with my colleague, and although I am in charge, and I find myself in that place when I want to shout, I'll just say, MJ, we're not doing this, we're not shouting, and that's it. So you see how you grew up, the parents that parented you can affect your social life and what you do even when you're outside. So, like I said, you have to learn and unlearn. And for parents coming up, because your mom did that does not mean that you have to do that as well. So, I hope this is already helping you see one or two adjustments to make. For us, upcoming parents, we have tools, we have information, we have more intelligence, we have like more spiritual understanding, teachings. Go online, you see many teachings on how to train your children, right? And you know, right now there's this parenting they call, is it soft parenting? I don't even know what they call the parenting, but I think this parenting is the one that says don't shout, communicate. It feels strange, but we have to learn it. We cannot raise children through fear. We cannot shout love into the heart of a child. We cannot demand respect without giving room for communication. Allow your child to talk. And yes, we must begin to learn to apologize. Apologies must exist in our home. Growing up, I don't think that growing up, my mom or my dad ever apologized. Eh? If my mom noticed that she has offended you or she's the one at fault, she just go, Kele, will you eat banana? They don't like to say sorry. Don't know why. Like my mom will offend and say, do you want to see her? Their own apology was just different, and that was just that time, right? It is what they knew. But I'm still grateful for that because I will eat. Oh. I will say, I don't want to eat. And I say, oh yeah, eat now. Take small. Try, chop. Meanwhile, you're forming, but I knew they meant well. I knew that was apology. But now, with the caliber of children coming up, they are wiser. Say you're sorry. Oh, son, sorry. Oh, daughter, I apologize for that. Oh, that was a mistake, right? Because these children that we are raising, they are humans as well. They are not robots. Children are not emotional dumping grounds. They are not extensions of our egos. They are souls that we are called to nurture. And so we must treat them as one. These are gifts that God gave to us, and so we must treat them as one, right? Now, to balance this script, as much as teenagers want understanding, parents also need grace. Most Nigerian parents were not raised in environments where they were allowed to express their emotions. Eh? You want to tell your grandma in those days, Mama, I don't like what you did. The slap that will reach your face, you will arrange your mouth. Or they tell you to go and fetch water. You want to say, please give me 5 minutes. Eh? Oh, kids right now, we are very interesting people. Your mom will be telling you, okay, let go and sweep that place. Mommy, just give me 5 minutes. Mommy, just give me 10 minutes. Right? But in their time, you can't do that. Sharp, sharp, can't will touch you. Oh, that's the generation we are in now. We have to just extend grace to our parents. And many of our parents had to grow up faster than we grew up because at 18, parents were already getting married. So imagine how quickly they had to grow up, how responsible they had to become. At 17, at 18, some of my aunties were training themselves, the mothers that I've spoken to. They were already hawking. We are not hawking, no. I did not hawk. I don't know about you. But the one life mattered to them, made them grow quickly, made them do life on a faster pedestal. And so they became very responsible. So don't blame them if sometimes their expectations of us is like you to grow up now, right? And so many had to grow up faster than you. Many started dealing with trauma they have never, some of our parents are healing with traumas that they have not healed from, healing from parents that never took care of them, healing from having to live with like uncles and aunties that didn't treat them well, that maltreated them. Some of them healing from having to navigate life on their own. You know that some of our parents were in the village and they had to move to the city all alone and navigate city life by themselves. Indeed, you know, when they say some parents started from the scratch, they really started from the scratch. And so we must give them that grace. When we talk about our parents, they'll be like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with my parent. I don't know what's wrong with my mom. I don't know what's wrong with my dad. He does not understand. You too, calm down and understand that it wasn't always easy for them. And whatever they're doing it from loving perspective, from a perspective of wanting to give you the best out of life. So this does not excuse hurt, but it explains it. Your parents are humans, not machines. And sometimes seeing them as humans first can change your relationship with them. I like to look at my mom as a girl that grew up fast and she's just trying to navigate life to the best of her knowledge. And truly, she has done so well for herself. I like to look at my auntie and all the mothers around, like little girls that had to grow up and they did life in the best way they can. And so let's just give them grace. I like to look at the dads. They did what they knew. Trust me, a lot of men did not have like trainings on how to be fathers. And that's why the society is devoid of a lot of men that are up to standard. It doesn't mean that your child should be given that same treatment as a boy. My papa no teach me anything. I beg, I beg, I beg. I'm just doing my best. Learn, read books, listen to men that are out there dishing out this advice on how to groom your boys, right? Because you were not taught by your mom or your dad does not mean that you should just leave it to life to happen again. Don't go through the same cycle. Break the cycle in your time. I know I've said a lot, right? So if you want healthier homes and healthier relationship, must learn how to communicate better because love cannot survive where communication is broken. Teenagers, young adults need to speak with respect. Parents need to listen also with patience. Timing matters, your tone matters, honesty matters, but kindness matters too. If both sides chooses communication instead of confrontational, you'll be shocked at how much healing can happen. So in conclusion, parenting is not control, parenting is partnership. Teenagers don't need perfection, they need presence. Parents don't need rebellion, they need understanding. Both sides are humans, both sides feel, both sides love. And if we must build healthy, loving families tomorrow, we must start healing the way we love today. So, on the next episode, I'll be coming up with questions from both parents and teenagers on how to balance out and how to navigate this parental love journey. Thank you. And from us at the studio, bye.